Oscar award-winning movie Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho, is a great intricate look on class struggle. But what about the best movie about class struggle? No, I'm not talking about Brazil, or Taxi Driver, or Joker. I'm talking about Tommy Wiseau's The Room. 2003's The Room, directed, written by, and starring Tommy Wiseau, is, on its surface, a movie about romance and betrayal. But underneath its presumed superficial plot lies a deeper meaning, the conflict of modern social classes. Don't believe me? Let's move on. We have our main character, Johnny.
Hi, babe.
He represents the middle class. You see, Johnny is an everyman. He has a future wife, he has a loft apartment, he has a job at a bank. Simple man with simple dreams. Much like the simple American dream. However, much like the middle class, his position in society is very fragile. It wouldn't take much for him to fall below his means. For instance, his future wife is cheating on him, and she hints that she could leave him at any time.
You don't feel guilty about this at all.
No, I'm happy.
At his job, he saves the bank money, and they put his ideas into practice. But we find out he doesn't get that promotion he was promised. Much of us relate to the character of Johnny, which is why he is seen as the main character. Statistically, the most suicidal social class is the middle class because of the fragility of their situation. This is seen at the end of the movie when Johnny ends up killing himself. Right before his death scene, he walks up and down the stairs, tearing everything down in frustration, which represents the middle class ascending and descending the social class ladder, trying to, quote, make it in society. This fragile existence can be too much for people like Johnny to endure, so he ends his suffering at the climax of the film. Next is Denny. Denny represents the underclass. Denny is an orphan with no real promise in life. He looks up to Johnny, who is at a higher social status than he is. Johnny helps him out when he can. He is like a father figure to Denny. However, Denny clearly doesn't belong in Johnny's life in any true, meaningful way. Denny is seen going to Johnny's house asking for favors and things constantly.
I just need to borrow some sugar.
Help yourself, Danny.
I also need a cup of flour and half a stick of butter.
Doesn't your home have a kitchen?
I'll come back later.
He gets by trying to sell drugs, depicting the underclass turning to the black market in order to gain any kind of social capital. Johnny giving him money indicates the underclass's reliance on public funding, which lies on the backs of mostly the middle class. At the very beginning of the film, Denny chases Johnny and Lisa up the spiral staircase, much like the underclass's wish to ascend the social ladder, only to be forced back down.
Danny, two's great, but three's a crowd.
Now we have the character of Mark. Pretty baby-faced Mark. Mark is the upper class. He coasts by life with little adversity. Though he is friends with Johnny, Johnny clearly looks up to Mark.
It seems to me like you're the expert, Mark.
Throughout the entire movie, Mark gets everything he wants with relatively little consequence, while Denny is greatly chastised for buying drugs.
Stop ganging up on me!
Mark gets a small, disapproving chat when he is caught using drugs.
Why are you smoking that crap? It's no wonder you can think straight. It's gonna screw with your head.
Much like the overwhelming amount of underclass citizens imprisoned for years from petty crimes like selling marijuana, while the upper class seems to only get a slap on the wrist for similar cases. Mark isn't necessarily the bad guy, but he has the most of what everyone wants while not trying too hard. Now we come to the beautiful Lisa. Lisa doesn't actually represent a class, but what is called social capital. If we look it up, social capital is defined as the networks of relationships among people who live and work in a particular society, enabling that society to function effectively. Basically, the stuff people want to make them powerful. Lisa is constantly admired by each character. She is who everyone is chasing after.
Lisa looks hot tonight.
Denny wants her, Johnny loves her, and Mark can't resist her. Now let's look at how she looks at the other three characters. She dismisses Denny and his advances. Denny is really nothing to her because he has no social capital.
You look beautiful today. Can I kiss you?
You are such a little brat.
Johnny has some, but not enough to fulfill her needs.
Mom, he's not what you think he is. He didn't get his promotion.
It is clear that, while she might have been enamored with Johnny before, she realizes he doesn't have enough power. So she turns to the upper class man. She turns to Mark.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm fine. Come in.
She is constantly seen begging Mark to love her.
I dream about you. I need you to make love to me.
It is clear that Mark has everything she wants, and Mark does very little to grab her attention other than just picking up the phone.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm very busy. What's going on?
Wiseau makes his big statement at the end of the movie where Johnny kills himself after losing Lisa, and Lisa has no one to turn to. In the end, social capital was not worth ruining a friendship and a life over. Social classes are an illusion made up by society. That concludes my video essay. I hoped you liked it. Bye!